I'm out here to do some recording, and check it out. That's a swamp turkey right there. There's good eating. If I had the time to get it, clean it, freeze it, etc., I'd probably do that. Anyway, folks, I don't really know how to start this video out, and I don't really know the proper angle to get with this camera, so I'm just gonna kind of leave you guys right there. Actually, let's raise this up just a wee bit, see if we can get a little bit more of a better angle on this table here. There we go. I'd say that's pretty much as good as we're going to get. So I got a couple of those Carcano carbines. Thank you, Kevin! Man, don't you guys just love Florida? I got a couple of those Carcano carbines from Royal Tiger Imports. And, well, I figured I'd go ahead and I'd do an unboxing. These right here are going to be covered in cosmoline. So as a result, I'm not going to do an unboxing and firing because I'll have to clean the cosmoline out. I'm willing to bet there's probably a lot of cosmoline inside of the barrel as well. So, yeah, good morning. Grab yourself some coffee. It is a little early to start blasting off rounds anyway. People are trying to sleep. So, I figure this right here is probably a good time to go ahead and do an unboxing. Now, whenever I was at the gun store, they had to get into it in order to actually get the serial number and information off of the rifle. So, it has been opened already, but this right here is the first time that I'm actually going to get into it myself and check it out. All of these rifles came with a little pack like this. It just says IO Inc. That is the importer for these rifles. And, they come with a little flag, a pen, and a little sticker. Each of these comes with this little pack, so that's just something that was included inside of the box. Now, there is no clips or anything that came with this. However, I do have clips, but I do also have this right here, which is a 6.5 Carcano round, which is what all of these rifles are going to be chambered in, so we'll be able to actually bore test these things. So let's actually put this into my pocket before it rolls off the table and I lose it forever. This right here is the inside box of the outside box that it came with, and each of these rifles was actually packed really nicely with this bubble wrap right here. And inside of the box, there's a, what would I call it, a little cardboard cutout that actually holds the rifle in place. So, yeah, these were actually packed very, very well. Oh, goodness, I'm spilling my coffee over there. You know what, I'm going to take the coffee and set it on this table over here. There we go. But each of these were packed really, really well. Whenever it comes to this bubble wrap, I just kind of tossed it back in here because it was, you know, bubble wrap. But here's our little cardboard holder for the rifle, and these were holding very, very well. And packed thoroughly in bubble wrap. So there's our actual unboxing. Let's go ahead and take this and toss it to the side. And here is our actual Carcano carbine. Man, Kevin is just making a ton of noise today. Looks like we have ourselves a little rust spot right there. I don't see it going deep enough to actually cause any pitting. These things are going to be dirty. They're going to be covered in cosmoline. These are straight out of an Italian warehouse. This particular one, let me get our rear sight out of the way here. It looks like it is a Gardone manufacturer, Gardone. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that second word, but a Gardone manufacturer. I haven't seen that manufacturer before. I know that they're not as common as like Tourney or Brescia, so it is cool that I actually have a rifle from Gardone. This is a 1955 production? No, 1935. I was about to say I wasn't aware that they were making these rifles in 1955. 1935 production, and then XIII. I think that is the 13th year? I think the 13th year of the fascist rule, back whenever these were being marked like that. So this right here, it should be in working order. Pull that back. Nice and sticky, absolutely loaded with cosmoline in there, which is exactly what I was expecting, which is one of the main reasons why I'm not going to fire these rifles until after I have cleaned them. And our sear should catch. Yep, our sear does catch. Let's make sure the trigger works. Yep, the trigger works. So this right here seems to be a functional rifle. The bayonet looks like it's one of those push-button style bayonets. Yep, flip that around just like that. We got ourselves a working bayonet that actually seems to uno momento por favor. There we go. Bring that around. Yeah, we got a little bit of wobble in it, but it's definitely not the worst that I've seen. Over here on the side of the stock, looks like we had it rubbing up on something, and I mean, that could have been done whenever it was sitting in a warehouse, could have been done for, I mean, a lot of different things. This right here being 1935, this did see use in the Second World War and probably for a lot of things beyond that. The bluing looks pretty good. The stock itself, other than this worn spot, it looks pretty decent. I don't see any cracks or anything like that. We are missing our upper handguard. That was something that was listed in the description of these rifles, so they should all be missing the upper handguard, and that's just what you get whenever you buy military surplus. I do see a couple of holes in the stock back here. I have no idea what those are from, but yeah, I got no clue. Maybe somebody can clue me in as to why those would be there. We got ourselves a very nice little cartouche right there. No idea what it actually says, no idea what it actually means. Maybe somebody out there could clue me in on that. But one of the main reasons why I went with these particular Cavalry Carcanos is because Royal Tiger Imports, which is IO Inc., they are the people that actually imported these rifles. They get a lot of stuff from Africa and Ethiopia, and those tend to be a little on the sketchy side, whereas these right here were imported from Italy, and so as a result, these right here are not nearly in as bad of shape as some of the stuff that has come out of Ethiopia. So, all of that being said, let's pull this back, let's set this right here, let's grab our 6.5 Carcano round here, and let's, well, I'm going to give full disclosure. This right here is a hand-loaded rounding. I'm using 2.64 diameter projectiles. These rifles actually have a 2.68 diameter bore, so this right here will actually be a little bit smaller than what the 6.5 Carcano is actually supposed to be able to fire. That being said, I have fired plenty of Carcanos with 2.64 bullets, and I get accuracy enough from those rifles. Let's see how much life we have inside of this barrel still. Survey says, oh hell, that barrel right there is still premium. Whenever you are bore testing a rifle like this, I see a little bit of stock damage right here. Whenever you're bore testing a rifle like this, you put your projectile into the barrel like that, and where it stops, you want to see a little bit of meat of that projectile left, and that means that you're going to get appropriate rifling engagement whenever the projectile actually flies through the barrel. And I see cosmoline all over this thing, so yeah, there's definitely a lot of cosmoline. Inside of the barrel itself, we have ourselves a broken piece of the stock right there. That looks like it was done a long time ago, because this piece of the stock is the same color as the rest of the stock. We got a gouge right there. I mean, this thing is dinged up, nicked up. We got corrosion. We got all sorts of stuff going on with this. But with the price point that these rifles are being sold at, I absolutely foresee it as worth it, especially because I am getting a functioning firearm. So I cannot show you guys the actual, rifling inside of the barrel, simply because, well, you guys are on a GoPro, and there's no way I'm going to be able to line that up on screen. So I'm just going to look down the barrel. Wow, that rifling looks fantastic, which makes sense because it has a good bore, and it is just absolutely covered in cosmoline, which is a good sign because that means that the rifling inside of the barrel was probably, it probably held up pretty damn well. And we got a bunch of cosmoline on the bolt itself. So that means that the bolt itself probably has a bunch of cosmoline inside of it too, and that means that the bolt itself is probably going to have held up very, very well as well. Let's see, do we have any serial numbers on the bolts so we can see if we have matching bolts to any of this? No siree, there are no serial numbers on the bolt, just a couple of little proof marks. And I only see the one serial number on the receiver. I guess there is this one on the stock. 4077 1859. So the stock does not appear to match, assuming that I'm looking at the right set of numbers. It looks like our import mark is right here under the barrel, under the bayonet, right there, just carefully engraved into the bottom of the barrel. It says IO Inc., Melbourne, Florida, M91 Carcano 6.5 Italy. So that is pretty cool. Okay, well, this right here has been our thorough checkout of a 6.5 Cavalry Carbine from RTI that was imported from Italy. And this is one of the ones that does not have an upper handguard. This right here, assuming that the firing pin is functional, I have seen these come in with broken firing pins, but considering that it's covered in cosmoline, it probably sat in a warehouse for a long time. So although it does look like it has had some use, I'm willing to bet that it was put inside of that warehouse, functional. I do not know for sure, because it also looks like it was put in there without a handguard. I'm not sure what the story is behind that. I'm not sure if the handguards just fell off over the 100 years or so that it's been sitting in storage. I don't really know with this rifle, but I do know a good way to find out, so we are going to go ahead, clean this up, take it to the range. I'll go ahead and film that for another video. This right here is just the unboxing. Sights are working, triggers working, bolt seems to be complete, bayonet is working, stock itself seems fine. or at least there's no cracks or anything, so I doubt it'll fall apart whenever I pull that trigger. The rifling inside the barrel looks very, very good. This right here is definitely a very good score of a rifle. That being said, hey folks, thanks for watching. I do appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Description below has linked to all sorts of stuff. Go check that out. I'm going to go drink my coffee before it gets cold, and I will see you guys on the next video.
Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. The poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.